Welcome to Immigration Quicktake. This is Ellie Rutledge Silver with the American Immigration Lawyers Association. Earlier this week, the Trump administration released its immigration principles and priorities, and AILA's Director of Government Relations, Chen, joins us to share details. Greg, thanks for joining me. What is the administration demanding?
In exchange for protection for the DACA grantee population, also known as Dreamers, the White House is now demanding what amounts to a laundry list of enforcement-only and immigration restrictionist proposals. Now, while the White House priorities don't specifically mention any bills, they track very closely several restrictionist bills that have been introduced in the 115th Congress, including appropriations bills that would provide billions of more dollars to the Trump administration to build the border wall, as well as to set up mass deportation forces, including more agents and more infrastructure that would enable increases in deportations. Also included is the framework for the Davis-Oliver Act, a House bill that is essentially a laundry list enforcement-only kitchen sink of every possible harsh punitive enforcement measure that would result in even more indiscriminate deportations of families from the United States and people who have contributed for a long time to the United States. Also included in the White House priorities are provisions that would hurt unaccompanied children who are here seeking protection. Also, asylum seekers would be forced back into dangerous conditions under the White House proposal. These are all provisions that will hurt the United States' commitment to humanitarian protection and result in endangering lives by the thousands. The last thing I'll mention is the RAISE Act, something introduced in the Senate, which would cut legal immigration by half, and in doing so, jeopardize families and business petitioners, people who are going through the legal immigration system, who are already waiting years to be able to bring either workers or their family members here to the United States, and now will be even less able to do so.
Why is AILA concerned?
Taken as a whole, this set of priorities is only going to do damage to our country. By engaging in mass deportations and closing off our country to immigration, we'll be hurting our economy, and we'll be hurting the families and communities that have been living here for a long time, contributing to our society. In addition, these bills demonstrate a real fundamental disregard for due process and for a legal system that values the Constitution and the protection of people who are going through a process and deserve an opportunity to make their case for relief. All those basic principles that are enshrined in American law would be cast aside under this set of priorities. At the broader level, what we are looking at here is a proposal from the White House that is trading the lives of Dreamers and DACA recipients for a long political list of enforcement-only provisions that aren't going to do any good for the United States. And they're putting these Dreamers' lives at that political risk.
What can AILA members do?
So there are literally hundreds of thousands of lives of Dreamers and DACA recipients that are now hanging in the balance. And what we need is for the Republican leadership in Congress to demonstrate its commitment to getting a DREAM Act passed as soon as possible. And President Trump still needs to show leadership on this. He met with Democratic leaders Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi just a few weeks ago and reached an agreement, broadly speaking, to protect Dreamers. And now by issuing these priorities, he's thrown that all up in the air because these enforcement-only restrictionist proposals make absolutely no sense in the context of reforming immigration in a way that will help America. So he needs to lean into this and tell his party and his base that passing protection for Dreamers is going to be good for America. Now, what can AILA members and the public do about this? What is so critical is that we contact Congress and the President in as many mass numbers as we possibly can to make sure they understand that there's political desire and demand from the public to get this done. Only then will they take that politically difficult decision and put a DREAM bill up for a vote this year. And that's what we need you to do now to make sure it happens.
Thanks, Greg, for joining me. For the rest of you, please stay tuned for more updates from the American Immigration Lawyers Association.